unifies. It looks like we can't escape that confusion, that conclusion, right? Yeah, I like that. Pardon me?
That it's present with health.
Yes. How about fitness? Try fitness. Does fitness try to bring together the body in a certain way and then maintain it over a period of time? Does it then perfect the body, bring it to a state of perfection? And by the continuation of fitness, the presence of fitness, right? It brings about a unification of the body, and that's good for all bodies that want to be fit. Oh, let's go, wait a minute, how about power? Will it work for power?
I thought that's what we were talking about.
Louder?
This unification process with the one and the presence, that's power. Very powerful when that happens.
Yes, but now we're raising...
Yeah, so the answer is yes.
Well, you're probably either right or wrong
Yeah.
in between. Right. I like to cover the possibilities. But let's try it. Right. Does power by itself bring things together?
No.
Does it hold things together? Not unless it's directed by something. Is that right? Would you say that wealth is a power? Would you say that health has a power? Intelligence has a power? Fitness brings about a power?
Yeah.
But then it's not itself one of those things. Why? Because by itself, does it have these qualities? Does it bring together by itself? Does it perfect things necessarily? Does it hold them together by its very presence? Correct.
So then how do we use that word? Do we say it's a consequence of those other things?
You mean, how shall we use the word power?
Yeah.
Well, the first question is whether it fits into this group. Does it look like it fit?
No.
But each of these has a power.
Right.
But it itself is not in this class of things. I see.
It is.
Because it has to do something with the power. It has to be a unifying force. And in the process, it has to make things good. Would power just by itself do that? Or should it bring something else with it, like these things? What are these things?
Goodnesses.
These are goods, ideals. Yes, these are good. Goodnesses, you might call them, or ideals. Wow. What does that mean, sir?
What, 3?
Yeah. There's another section we left out. Right? Good. Now, look here. If all of this is true, then we can just pull together the conclusions that we have. Goodness is union. Union is goodness. But I'd like to show something that's rather curious, right? I'd like to stay with this first. Goodness is union. All right, look here. If each of these things have a union to it, then they have a goodness. If they have that quality of bringing together that union of these things, well, that union is a goodness. It goes both ways, doesn't it? Goodness is union, union is goodness. But then he concludes, from goodness to the good, and from union to the one. Now let's do that. You see, if there is a redness, right, if you say there's something that has the quality of redness? Must there not be red? If there is goodness, must there not be good for something else to have goodness? For something to be in a state of union, does that mean the parts then are separated and dispersed? Or are they brought together as a one? If there is a goodness, then that goodness, does that presuppose there must be something that is good? Yes. Then if union, the process of union, each one of the things that are brought together in a union, if it then is a one, now notice now the major difficulty in the history of philosophy. We go from a one to the one. So we're saying that behind all the union, behind all the unifications, behind the unifying, behind the unity, that presupposes the existence of one as a quality. If so, then you're now talking not about a, but as it were, something that exists in its own right, and you use the word the. Because normally, would you not agree, a one what? Horse? What? A one horse? A two horses? Three horses? How about a one what? It requires a subject, right, doesn't it? A noun. When you move here, that makes this into the noun. That makes this into a substance. It makes this into a thing. Well, let's see if we can do it here then. Let's take unifies, unity, and union. If there is such a thing as union, then if anything became into that state, before it must have gone through a state where it was being unified, or there must be something that's going through unifying. There must be some unification. Right? There must be some unification going on. Well then, if there's something that brings about a unification, then if it's completed, it's a unity. And if the parts then are brought together in such a way that they can then become and share a higher mode of existence in their unity, we can then say they have a union. But is not this all dependent upon the process of oneing? Right? Must it not go through a process of oneness or oneing? Let's see. Wealth has to be some process of bringing it together, unification. Then it has a unity. There must be something that unifies it, doesn't do it by itself. Must be something that drives it, that unifies it. And if it's successful in that unifying, then it has a union. And now it has a different mode of existence than it had before. Then it has a oneness. It's gone through a process of oneing, and that presupposes the existence of a one. Huh. Oh, wait a minute. There's a wholeness. If there's a wholeness, that presupposes there must be a whole before there was a wholeness.